Every shadow hides a monster. Every whisper carries a threat. But I won't run anymore. I've fought through the darkness,
through the fear, through the endless nights when the world seemed dead, and I will finish this. Whatever it takes, whoever stands in my way, I will survive, and I will make them pay for what they've done. You think you've seen the worst?
The story of I Am Legend has always carried with it a haunting echo of loneliness, resilience, and the terrifying beauty of survival in a world left barren. Set in a future where humanity has been all but wiped out by a devastating virus, the film captures the raw essence of what it means to be the last man standing against the weight of silence and the crushing reminders of what once was. This world is not simply empty. It is filled with the eerie traces of people who lived ordinary lives, of laughter that no longer fills the air, and of civilization that has crumbled into a graveyard of memories. The film was a reimagining of a concept that had captivated audiences for decades, based on a novel that questioned the very nature of humanity and monsters. When it finally arrived on screen in 2007, starring Will Smith, it wasn't just another action thriller. It became a cinematic meditation on isolation, fear, and hope in the face of extinction. The overview of this story places us in the aftermath of scientific ambition gone wrong. What was meant to be a cure for cancer evolved into a plague that decimated the population of the Earth, leaving behind only a handful of immune humans scattered across the globe. At the center of this devastation is Robert Neville, a military virologist who finds himself seemingly the last survivor in New York City. By day, he scours the ruins, hunts for food, broadcasts radio messages in hopes of finding other survivors, and conducts experiments in his lab to find a cure. By night, he barricades himself inside his fortified home, because when the sun sets, the infected roam. These infected, once human, are reduced to primal, violent creatures with an animalistic hunger and an aversion to light. The film balances its action with an almost poetic silence, showing long stretches of Neville walking alone in empty streets, interacting with mannequins for companionship, and talking to his loyal dog, Sam, who becomes his emotional anchor in the absence of human contact. The cast is led by Will Smith, who delivered one of the most emotionally powerful performances of his career. He carried nearly the entire film alone on screen, and his portrayal of Robert Neville was both heartbreaking and inspiring. Smith captured the desperation of a man holding onto sanity by a thread, yet still clinging to duty and purpose. Alongside him, Alice Braga played Anna, a survivor who appears in the latter part of the film, bringing with her a glimmer of hope and the suggestion that Neville may not have been as alone as he once believed. Dash Mihok played the infected leader, whose presence elevated the threat of the creatures beyond faceless monsters, hinting at intelligence and organization among them. Most memorably, Abby and Kona, the German shepherds who portrayed Sam, gave life to one of the most beloved canine characters in modern cinema. Sam's loyalty, bravery, and tragic fate provided the film with its most gut-wrenching and unforgettable moment, etching the dog into the hearts of audiences everywhere. The plot unfolds in layers, balancing moments of quiet isolation with bursts of intensity. The beginning immerses us in the emptiness of New York City, with Robert Neville driving through streets overgrown with weeds and populated by wild animals reclaiming the land. The film establishes early on that Neville is immune to the virus, giving him a unique responsibility to study it and attempt to create a cure. Through flashbacks, we learn of his past as a military scientist during the outbreak, his desperate attempts to evacuate his family, and the tragedy that befell them. His guilt over their loss weighs heavily on his psyche, fueling his determination to find a cure and redeem himself for being unable to save them. His daily routines, from setting traps for the infected to running laboratory experiments, show a man who is clinging to structure in a world that has collapsed. But it is his relationship with Sam that gives the story its emotional depth. The dog is not just a pet. She is his partner, protector, and confidant. Their companionship becomes the soul of the film, reminding viewers that love and loyalty can endure even in the darkest times. The tension rises when Neville captures an infected female for his experiments. He is determined to reverse the virus and restore humanity, but this act provokes the rage of the infected leader, who becomes fixated on Neville. The battle between man and infected escalates, culminating in moments of extreme suspense and action. Yet the story is not simply about survival against monsters. It is about Neville's internal battle with despair, loneliness, and the search for meaning in a world that seems devoid of it. The turning point comes with the death of Sam, a scene that broke audiences' hearts worldwide. After being attacked by infected dogs, Sam is bitten and Neville is forced to euthanize her before she fully turns. The loss shatters him, leaving him unmoored and reckless, willing to throw away his own life in vengeance. This emotional climax underscores the fragility of hope in the face of overwhelming loss. The arrival of Anna and a young boy named Ethan shifts the narrative toward redemption. Anna rescues Neville at his lowest point and introduces the idea that humanity may not be gone completely. Her faith in a survivor's colony inspires Neville to push forward with his research. The climax of the film comes when Neville finally perfects a serum that reverses the effects of the virus. When the infected break into his home, Neville makes the ultimate sacrifice, ensuring that Anna and Ethan escape with the cure. The ending offers a bittersweet resolution, positioning Neville as both a tragic figure and a legend, someone who gave his life so that humanity could rise again. This act ties directly into the film's title, as Neville becomes a mythic figure remembered for his sacrifice, embodying the duality of savior and legend in the eyes of the survivors. The release of I Am Legend in December 2007 marked it as one of the most anticipated films of that year. Its timing during the holiday season, paired with the marketing that emphasized both its epic scale and emotional core, helped it achieve massive box office success. Audiences were drawn not only to the spectacle of an empty New York City and the thrilling encounters with the infected, but also to the human story of one man's perseverance. The film grossed over $500 million worldwide, cementing itself as both a blockbuster and a cultural phenomenon. Critics praised Will Smith's performance, often highlighting it as the driving force behind the film's emotional impact, while the ending sparked debate, particularly due to alternate cuts that changed Neville's fate. The film's central themes of sacrifice, loneliness, and redemption resonated deeply with viewers. Over time, it became a modern classic of post-apocalyptic cinema, influencing subsequent films and television series about pandemics and survival. The trailer for I Am Legend was a masterclass in building anticipation. It opened with sweeping shots of a desolate New York City, capturing the haunting emptiness of landmarks like Times Square and the Brooklyn Bridge, now silent and overtaken by nature. The contrast between Neville's solitary existence and the lurking danger of the infected was highlighted through tense sequences, flashes of action, and the sound of Neville's desperate radio transmissions. The emotional weight was heightened by glimpses of his bond with Sam, offering audiences a hint at the film's heart. The trailer balanced spectacle and suspense, showing just enough of the infected to provoke fear while leaving much to the imagination. It promised both thrilling action and a profound human story, and its haunting visuals became instantly iconic. The sense of unease, mixed with the theme of survival against impossible odds, ensured that the trailer captivated audiences worldwide and built immense excitement for the film's release. In the years since its release, I Am Legend has continued to spark discussions, fan theories, and even debates over its alternate endings. It stands as an exploration of what it means to carry on when the world falls apart and asks whether survival alone is enough, or if true purpose comes from leaving behind a legacy for others. The film does not simply depict monsters and a ruined city. It holds up a mirror to human resilience, to the cost of loneliness, and to the fragile hope that the future can still be redeemed. Its legacy has endured because it blends blockbuster spectacle with intimate storytelling, reminding us that even in a world without people, the struggle for meaning and connection remains the most human story of all. Will Smith's Robert Neville became more than a character. He became a symbol of perseverance, a solitary warrior against despair, and ultimately, a legend whose sacrifice ensured the survival of humanity.